Alright everyone, in this video I wanted to give you a very quick guidance on how to use the Python SDK with Azure. So let's see, I'm gonna go to my terminal and I have a project folder that is called Python Python projects, PyCharm projects. That's where I'm gonna be, and I'm gonna use the Python SDK Azure. That's the folder we're gonna be using. Okay. And let's open my PyCharm and let's bring up. So this is the folder that we want, and as soon as it comes, uh, what we'll do, we're gonna start our project from scratch. Okay, so let me just get rid of the, or I'm just gonna keep it, and let's create a new file, resource group manager.py. Okay, there is the file that I'm going to create. So few things that you need for working uh, with the Python SDK. There are a couple packages that you will need to install, and I'm using Python 3, so I would uh, do like Python pip3 install Azure management resource, and do the same thing here, pip3 pip3 install, and then Azure identity. Now I really don't need that section. I'm just going to get rid of this. So these are two commands that you want to run right here. Let me see, do a ls here real quick, make sure I'm the right path. Yes, I'm on the right path. So if I copy this, okay, and if I run this, I already have this installed, so you're probably likely to see, and I have a spelling mistake. You don't do that. install. One more time, copy this and paste it, and hopefully it is gonna say that, hey, requirement already satisfied. But for you, if it's not installed, please go ahead and install these two packages. You're gonna need it. Okay, so I have both of them. I'm gonna comment this one out. Now the next thing that you need, so I know I have the packages that I need to do my work. So we are gonna now import these two packages, and in particular, I'm gonna import the Azure CLI credential. Okay, you can authenticate to Azure in many different ways. And this particular video, we're just gonna use our authentication from the CLI environment. Okay, and only use it for development. Don't use for the production. And we're also gonna get the resource management client, and we're gonna create an instance of it, and then use that to look at our resource group, create resource group, update resource group, things like that. Now, we also need, so let's create the credential first. So your credential is going to be, and just type Azure and it will come up with the ID support, Azure credential. That's where it's going to be stored. And then we need to know our subscription ID, subscription ID, and we need to know that. So what we'll do, I'll try to go to the portal, and let's see if I can log in and see what we have. Okay, I have to go through this. So I'm actually logged on to my account, and I'm in the subscription blade. And if you don't know how to go there, just search for subscription. And if you have one subscription, that's great. In this video, we are only dealing with one subscription, and there is way to programmatically get that one as well. But for now, I'm just gonna grab it from here, go back, and here I'm creating this variable and where I'm storing the subscription ID. Now this one is needed for your resource management client. I'm going to call it mgmt and then client, and this is going to be a resource management client, and here you're going to provide your credential to it. Okay, and you're also going to provide the subscription ID. Okay, so that is gonna give all the credential that it needs. Okay, now let's think. So once you have that, say you just want to see all the resource groups that you have in your Azure. So if I go back in here, go in there and go to resource group. So I have 6 different resource groups, but I want to know all of that programmatically. So let me just make that a little bit over here so you can see the screen. So here I'm going to create another variable, resource group list. Okay, and I can use this object now. Okay, so that is going to be my resource management client dot, and you see all the things that it can, it has all these properties and methods. So I'm going to go after the resource groups, hit dot, and I have a method called list. Okay, let's try to use that one. So that one hopefully will go to our subscription, look at all the resource group and make a list and give the list over here to me. And I don't want anything pretty right now. I'm just gonna say print, and let's see if I can print your resource group list. Now if I run this program, it's most likely it's gonna fail because I do not have any authentication yet. So if I on here, let's just validate that. So if I do az account and then say show, no subscription, fine. So I'm not logged in, it doesn't have any idea where to go to. So I can always, before I do anything, so if I run this, it should fail. uh, did it fail? I don't know what it did exactly. Let's not worry about this one. I was thinking that it's gonna fail. Okay, let's just come back over here. Okay. So it printed something over here which I don't think is 100% right. Okay, let me look at the code one more time. I have the and I also want to make sure that I am running the right file. Okay, resource manager py, and it gave me something that I was not expecting. All right, what I'll do, let's just go back to terminal and at least do az login. So I have a login, at least the a on the CLI. So let's just go there. So now it brought up this window. Now we should be logged in, and here is telling me all the information that I'm logged in. So this time if I do a az account show, it's going to give me all the information back. Okay, and if you notice, okay, so that ID that I got, here is the ID. Okay, that is my subscription ID. Now let's see what we have. So now if I run this code again, what I expect that it should get the credential from my CLI environment. It still didn't do too much that I was hoping that it would. So let's review the code. What we have here. Instead of instead of putting trying to print it this way, let's try this. Print, uh, not print. So say for item in resource group list. Okay, and what do we need? We need print item. Let's see, that gives us something a little bit better. And run. Okay, so now we started getting something. This is interesting, right? So now 6 different outputs, and if you look at what we have, okay, so it's going to go after, and it's giving me all the resource groups. Okay, this is the resource group object, and here are the name of my resource group attached to it at the end. Okay, and we also have a property called name. Okay, so interestingly, if I just do item.name here and save and run my program, now we should be seeing only the resource group names, right? So that's the beauty of it. So now with this little bit of code, okay, I can talk to Azure and get a list of all the resource groups that I have. So this one, the client, this group list that you got, it's actually you got an object, and the object got the stuff that you need. So say let's go back. If I can see here, I cannot go back, so let's just do print item one more time and see what other properties we can get. So over here I see I can get to ID. Okay, so if I can go, I have name and I can use the type, what type of resource you are getting. Let's see, I have additional properties in there. I'm looking for a location, so we can get the location, and that's very common, and tags. Okay, so let's try item dot name, and then what should we do, plus, and then let's say a space, and then item dot location. Okay, so that should give me the location of my resource. And let's say we are also interested in our tags. So item dot tags. And this one could give you some problem because this one is a dictionary. So let's try to run this one. And as I thought, it's you cannot concatenate a string that is not dictionary. So we can get to it. It needs a little bit more work. So let's stick to this one so far. So let's just make sure that we can get the resource group, okay, and the location at the moment. Okay. So a lot of times you create files with a comma separated values, right? I can run this one really easily. And now I have the whole list with a comma separated value. Now, next thing that you can do, you can also look at the resources in your whole subscription. So let's try resource list. Okay, and over here, if you notice that we were looking for the resource groups, so I'm going to copy this one, bring it down here, and instead of resource group, let's see if we have resource. So resource is something we have, and I can do dot, and I can also do list. Okay, and this one should give me all the resources that are available in my subscription. Again, what I'll do, print not again, I'm going to create a loop for say resources, or for resource in resource list. Okay, what we want to do, let's just print our resource, and let's make it correct, query SOURCA and resource. I just want to see how my resources look like first before we do any modification, then run the code. So here are all the resources, and it's a raw format, right? So in here, look at what we have. Again, I have the ID field, just like the resource groups. I have a name of the resource, okay, and I have the type of the resource. Okay, again, I have the location, and they have extended location, and we also have the tags. We have a plan, additional properties, all kinds of stuff, okay, that we are getting. So let's just maybe print resources dot name, and we also want to do resources location. So let's just do resource dot location, and let's do another one. Let's do the type. Okay, because it's important, is it a storage or is it a compute or what? So let's just try that and run this code, and there we go. And a lot of time what I like to use the enumerate. So a lot of times what I'll do count resource, and then over here enumerate this particular list. Okay, and then when I'm printing, I'm gonna add str, and then in here I'm gonna start the counting from 1. So I typically put 1 in there, count plus 1, and then let's add uh, another comma there. That should do it. So it's gonna give me the list, and it's also going to give me the number of resources that I have. So if I run this code, okay, so now I'm getting that in my subscription I have a total of 27 different resources that are available, okay, in different resource group. This time I'm not printing the resource group. I can if I want to. Over here, let's do the same thing. Let's do the count, comma item, and also do enumerate, and let's do the resource group list. And here, what I'm gonna do, count plus 1, and I'm gonna make that a string, and do this, and then do a comma separated thing the way we have everything else. So this one is going to be pretty nice. First, it's going to give me all how many resource groups I have. So right there. How many do I have? Right there. Okay, so these are all 1 to 6, and once this got printed, here is my resources that I have. Now, typically what I'll do, I'll change this in and modify them into methods. Okay, so I have something that I can work with. So uh, think about it how to do that. Okay, I'm gonna come back in the next video to show you how to take it to the next level, but I want to keep this video short and simple. So what you have is a very small Python program that I'm going to give it to you, and this program has one tiny little loop that is going to give you all the print the list of all resource groups, resource group names with their locations. Okay, and the next loop that I have, this one gonna print all resources in a subscription with their name and location. Okay, that's what we have done. It's a very simple program, and this is a resource management client is needed to um, work with resource group and resources, okay, in Azure. Okay, and over here I'm going to add a small comment, uh, get credentials from the CLI, and I'm also going to make a note only used for development. Okay, in the next video I'll show you how to use the service principal, which one is a little bit better, and you should not be using your Azure CLI for your credential if you're moving to the production. And over here we are hard coding the subscription, but there are ways to get this subscription, especially if you have hundreds of subscription under one tenant, how to get that and pass that as a parameter to the other things. We can also show you in the next video. So that's all I wanted to show you here. And last thing I'm gonna do, I am going to comment this one, and let's see, this one I don't need, and I'm gonna say simple Python program to show uh, how to manipulate resource groups in Azure. Fix the spelling, and I'm going to commit and push and push. Okay, and I'm going to double check that in my GitHub repo everything is good, and in the video give you the code, and you can have fun. And if we meet in the next video, we can continue. I'm just gonna continue and make sure that everything is good. Python SDK, and this is the one, and that's the code that I'm going to present in this video. Well, thank you very much for watching, and if you like this one, give me a thumbs up. Have a great day.